I'm not Trent,
Oh,
so
you
I
get
won't
to-
be using that too much.
Are you sure?
I mean, I could. I'm not gonna be like, yes.
Yeah. If you want, this is the bell here.
Well, one day that responsibility will come to me when I'm ready.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, with great power.
Comes a recording board.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
The All About Nothing podcast is proud to support the 2023 Soda City Comic Con. August 19th and 20th, join thousands of fans of fantasy, comics, science fiction, anime, classic games, pinball, and much, much more as they descend upon the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. 1-day and 2-day tickets are now available for your chance to meet Sean Astin, actor of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, as well as Netflix's Stranger Things. As well, you can meet actor Christina Ricci, star of the movies The Addams Family and Addams Family Values, as well as Netflix's Wednesday. Also appearing is 90s heartthrob and star of Kingpin, Spies Like Us, and the series Weird Science, Vanessa Angel. Plus, you'll meet voice actors from your favorite anime series like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, One Piece, and many more. Visit theallaboutnothing.com for links to more information and ticket information. The 2023 Comic-Con is a premier pop culture experience in South Carolina. Get your tickets now. Visit theallaboutnothing.com for details.
The All About Nothing podcast may have content and language that isn't appropriate for some. Listener discretion is advised. Recorded live from GOT Sounds Studio in Lexington, South Carolina. This is the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King, Trent Clark, and my dad, Barrett Gruber.
Welcome, Nothingers, to the All About Nothing podcast. This is episode number 164. I am Barrett Gruber, joined by Zach King. We are actually we are Sans Trent Clark, as he is on assignment to the wasteland that is Florida. I'll just go ahead and go through the spiel so we can get this over with. Please subscribe to the show. This is how we get new listeners. Please also consider supporting us financially by visiting theallaboutnothing.com and becoming an official member and proudly calling yourself a true Nothinger. We do have a bunch of membership tiers available that give you early access and exclusive content. Also, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts and you think we're worth it, give us a review and drop us 5 stars. And if you're not on Apple, give us a review where you can. Share the episode with your family and friends, or follow us on Twitter at AAN_pod and Facebook. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much.
Easy for you to say.
You said there's no retakes.
No, there is no retakes. No, we're not going to do a retake on this. We're going to just keep rolling. Let's see. If you think we're worth it, you know what? Just check our website, theallaboutnothing.com. So I'm going to go ahead and do shout outs real quick. So shout out last week, Cody Hughes and his boyfriend Josh last week. If you listen to the episode, it's number 163. If you haven't, go back and check it out. We had a good time, and I'd like to think that we learned something about how we can improve on the following for our TikTok.
Yes, be funny and just blast as many videos as you can.
Yeah, exactly. So a big shout out and thanks to Cody for being with us. Very much enjoyed meeting both him and his partner, and looking forward to collaborating more. Secondly, thank you very much again, John Kosis and the Columbia Fireflies, for our weekly update. Again, those updates are currently available on Sunday as soon as we publish them, but starting in August, those updates are going to be exclusively to Nothingers that are members of the $10 tier and up. So get on that if you haven't yet. Check our webpage for a link to our support page. Also, a reminder, we're getting close to August, and that means that it's time for the 2023 Soda City Comic Con organized by Columbia Comics. You can visit our website, theallaboutnothing.com, for links to information and tickets, so you want to do that. And with all of that out of the way, I want to welcome to the show Elizabeth and Ben McCarter. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's that one.
Well, yeah, I was going to do the applause, but where's Trent when you need him?
Yeah. Trent's not here. So you all are the I want to say owners, the operators of Mac Real Estate here in Lexington. Correct?
That's right. Yeah, Max Real Estate. We started in 2016.
Okay.
We're a small brokerage. My mom's actually the admin. She does all the listing input and all the background stuff for us.
He's my boss.
Does that wind up being any sort of an issue at home?
No, it's very fun.
We always talk about real estate, so it's lovely.
You can't see it, but he did cross his eyes when he said that. Did I know you were doing real estate when we were playing kickball together?
I was just getting into it. So 2016 was when we opened the brokerage.
Okay.
And that's the year I got into it as well.
And where is your brokerage located?
We've got a home office, but we're just outside of Lexington, 29073.
Okay.
Off Shireway Road.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so the is it McCarter Trail?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. I've only been out there once. They have their own road.
Never heard of it.
You're missing out.
I'm the person that gets on the interstate, and I'm just like, if the GPS better not lie to me, or I'm not getting there.
That's fair. That's fair. So what was it that made you decide to get into real estate? Because I had no idea. I had no idea.
My dad got into it, I guess, around 2008, right when the market was tanking.
Okay.
He got into it, and he loved it. He had always been in the automotive industry.
Oh, okay.
So was my dad.
Yeah. He did like tire balancers, tire changers, demos, and sales on that. I don't think he enjoyed it very much. He was always on the road, and having 4 boys, it didn't give him enough time at home.
Right.
But he got over into real estate, and it was much more time to just be with us.
Mm-hmm.
I think he regretted he didn't get into it sooner.
Yeah.
And then at USC, I actually had a professor come in. I was in marketing and management, and then a professor came in and spoke and said, you can get your broker's license right out of college, where typically you had to be an agent 3 years. So I picked that up as a third major and felt like I could at least have that to fall back on.
Right.
And then graduating college, I just decided to just go ahead and hop into it since my dad was into it and wanted to open a brokerage himself.
Yeah.
So I got in with him, and I was kind of his plan B in case anything ever happened to him.
Yeah.
He could at least fall back on me, and I could take it over. And unfortunately, it came a little sooner than I was hoping. He passed in 2019, but I was at least in that position to keep it going without having to have a lapse or anything.
Yeah. Zach's father actually passed away in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And your father's funeral and his father's funeral actually on the same day.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And purely out of because I didn't know Tuck.
No, you didn't.
But I considered your dad to be one of my best friends, and it killed me. Sorry. So it just surprised me. I didn't know that that you all were doing real estate. So that was really interesting to me because
And a family venture from the start.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
I mean,
awesome.
he had been with other brokerages to get his training, but it was nice to, I'm carrying on his legacy. with this
Absolutely.
name. Max was the name of my granddad. It was his CB handle when he did trucking.
Oh, excellent.
So we're carrying that on.
That's
And
good.
I talked to people pretty much once a week that knew my dad, and they worked with him in some capacity. And it's been nice to constantly hear stories about him, too.
yeah.
Yeah, the dad stories are always nice to catch up.
They
Yeah, it's
are.
like, oh, yeah. Thanks.
My dad's stories are different. Like most of them are like that bastard. Yeah.
Oh, I get those too, though. I'm like, yeah, okay.
So okay, so we know how you got into it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, how did you get into real estate?
So first, I was his boss at a nonprofit organization called Safe Life Senior, and I really
Do remember Safe Life Senior?
we've closed down, unfortunately, because we were a nonprofit, so we were not fortunate enough to carry on. But I wanted to get into a business where it wasn't the corporate world because I came from nonprofit.
Sure.
So I wanted to help folks, and I saw his dad in the way he did real estate, which was always helping people, constantly guiding them through the process and making sure that they understood everything that was going on. And I said, that looks interesting. And you're not sitting in an office 8 hours a day. Like,
Right.
this sounds great.
Yeah.
So I got my real estate degree and started working for them.
Okay.
Nice.
And then he swept you up.
Yeah.
He is a Casanova. I've seen him from a distance. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
All of the McCarter boys. Yeah. So how far, with Max Real Estate, how far do you all reach out as far as the properties that you all wind up representing, or the sellers that you represent, or buyers?
It's about a 60-mile radius around Columbia. Our primary zip codes are 29073 and 29072.
Okay.
But I've done stuff up in Winsboro and out in Orangeburg, so it kind of just depends on where our clients are and what they're looking at, too.
And we've gotten a lot of nationwide clients lately that have come into South Carolina. So right
that's
now
great.
we're working with a couple from Michigan. We've worked with people from California, Wisconsin, Florida,
Yeah.
North Carolina. So we've had a lot of folks that are nationwide buyers just coming into our market.
And business is good.
Oh yeah,
It has
business
been
is
good.
good.
Business is good.
Business is a
I didn't see what you're driving, a BMW or a Lexus or a
I just got to...
That's your Lamborghini out there?
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, last year the market did dip a little bit for us. Last year was my roughest year being full-time, but
Yeah.
I think the rates rising like they did kind of affected that as well.
Sure. And are we seeing rates starting to drop, or are people just getting normalized to the rates that are out there?
That's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
They've stabilized a little bit.
What sort of time frame are we seeing right now as far as like buying a home, selling a home, like from the point of listing to contract and signing? Like what sort of time frames are you seeing?
It really depends on the area in the Midlands. If you're in Lexington or Columbia, we usually have a contract within 3 days.
Wow.
And then, of course, the lender has to have time to close, so 30 to 45 days max.
That's nice.
What are the benefits of using a real estate agent versus trying to sell the house yourself?
Oh, gosh, dealing with the people,
Yeah.
dealing with the all the processes that come along with real estate. So the contracts, the showings, the negotiations, knowing which inspections to get if you're buying, knowing how to negotiate if you're selling.
Right.
What so from my personal experience, I've never bought a home through real estate agent. I guess I purchased my home and had it built back in 2021.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, 2001. I live in the Orchard Hill subdivision, and I had it built 2001. I moved into it in 2002. But didn't deal with a real estate agent. It was we were buying from the actual manufacturers.
Right.
But
Back when I was 13.
yeah. Thanks, Zach.
I'm just trying to put a time frame here.
That's fair. Thank you. One of the things that I've noticed lately is that I get a lot of phone calls recently and text messages from people asking if I'm interested in selling my house.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't engage with them at first, and now I do, because it's kind of a joke, and I'm trying to bring somebody on for content, because if I can get them on and convince them that I'm willing to sell my house as long as they go with my offer. So, but like the neighborhood I live, I bought my house for 117. It'll be paid off in another year. So I'll be done with that. And, but like, I subscribe to Zillow just because it's fun to look to see what they think my house is worth. Mm-hmm. And I know what the county thinks it's worth.
That's how you stalk people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like, I get these messages where today I got a text message today saying, are you the responsible party for the house at whatever? And, I text them back and I say, yeah, I am actually. And then they message back, are you interested in selling your house? And I said, well, here's the thing. What are you willing to offer? And then they message back, well, based on the market value, we could probably offer you somewhere in the low 200s. And I said, great. I would really like 500.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I don't hear back from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that.
Is there a fair amount of competition with these buyers, because they're essentially, these people are basically just buying homes, flipping them, right?
Correct. Yeah, and their goal is, there's a lot of investors just trying to get them. They may end up being investors and landlords that just end up renting them, but there are a lot of people that just want to buy them cheap and put them back on the market, because really since COVID 2019, our market has taken off. I mean, it truly has. Yeah. And you can put a home up after a year and have 20 to 30 grand in equity at least built up just by letting it sit. So you don't really have to do a whole lot of work, and if they can get it for the right price, it's easy money for them.
I just need to make sure that if I'm going to sell my home, that it's enough money for me to move to Ireland.
There you go.
And then, and because don't shake your head now.
Yeah, every time you say that, I picture that the shores of Banshire or whatever, and the guy who cuts his fingers off every time the guy won't leave him alone. I thought we were friends. Yeah. We're not.
Have you seen that movie? No. It's fantastic. It's Colin Farrell and the other guy. He hosted Saturday Night Live last year, but basically it's a remake of an old Irish tale about a guy that just doesn't like his friend anymore, so he tells him to stay away from me or I'm going to cut my own fingers off. So he keeps going to him and he cuts his fingers off. And then he throws the fingers at the door. The donkey eats the fingers. The donkey chokes and dies on the finger. Right?
Yeah, then he burns his house down.
It's a really dark comedy and it's hard to get, but it's.
But that's what you do. You're gonna go live on the shores of Ireland and just have somebody that annoys you. You're like, I'm not cutting my fingers off.
My dream is to live in a teepee on the side of a fjord in Norway.
Dude, that would last for 2 days straight. Like,
not for me.
You're like, all right.
A little chilly.
I'm a curmudgeon. I can deal with it. So I think one of the things that I find different or that I recognize when I see like for sale signs in people's house in yards that is there a difference between a real estate agent and a broker?
There is.
Yeah, he's the broker. I'm the real estate agent.
Okay, so what is the difference?
So I mean, to be a broker, you can have your own brokerage.
Okay.
Like we've got Max Real Estate, which allowed me to take over after my dad passed because he was a broker as well. And any agent can work under any broker.
Okay.
Technically, we call him a BIC, broker in charge.
Yeah, so you can also just be like, I was a broker under my dad. I was still a licensed broker, but I was technically just acting as an agent.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
It's a different exam. You have typically, like I was saying, you have to have 3 years of experience as an agent to get that broker's license. So there's a slight difference there, but
I take it in this line of business too. You have to be a people person, or at least fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
for sure.
no doubt.
Yeah, you got to like to talk to folks.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Do you all enjoy talking to a lot of folks?
most of them.
Yeah. As far as like in the last since you took over and whatnot, have there been any like interesting properties that you all have come up to and questioned why you were doing this?
Properties or clients, yeah, sometimes. I mean, we love all our clients, but
Sure.
you get some that
You can name them here. It's fine.
well, and there's even been properties like when you're doing showings, you get with the buyer. This was a first time buyer. I was going out and showing one of my brother's friends, and we were told the property was vacant. It's listed as vacant on the listing.
Oh no.
So I go there. This was a hard lesson learned for me to just always knock on the door just to make sure.
Yeah.
We've got agent lock boxes, so we can access the home pretty much just by dinging the lockbox with a Bluetooth key, and we get in. So I just went ahead and went in with my buyers right behind me, and as soon as I opened the door, there's a lady sitting under the stairs in a half bath with the door wide open.
Oh no.
And I was like, "Oh, I am so sorry." I backed out. I looked at my buyers, were just wide eyed as could be. Like, let's back
Y'all
out a
stay
little
here.
bit.
I'm getting the hose.
Yeah, so I'm immediately calling the listing agent. Like,
Grandma,
"Man,
get out."
Yeah, you told me the house was vacant. She had kids in there, so I know it probably disturbed her as well. But
Yeah.
there was a miscommunication between her husband and the listing agent apparently, and
Yeah.
just knock. It's not going to hurt anything. And
See, that's probably the kind of thing I look for. Does anybody live in here? Are you sure? Can we check?
Can we triple confirm?
Yeah.
Years ago, when my dad was selling our house, he would never tell us that people were coming through to like do whatever. I mean, I always had to keep my room clean and stuff, but he'd be like, "And this is the other room," and I'm just like in bed, just like, pretend I'm not here.
Oh, I've had a full-grown man that was. I had a buyer coming in, and the full-grown man was asleep in the bed, and we're like, Can we look in this room? Is it okay? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. So we're looking around, and he like wakes up. Wow. He's looking at us. I'm like, we're just showing the house. Everything's fine.
Go back to sleep. Shh.
I
I'll get you warm milk. Are you good?
Go back to sleep, sir.
Let me pat
He does not come with the house.
The wife probably be like, he does.
Yeah, really.
When you show a house, how many times have you all been asked about whether there was a crime at the house or anything like that?
I'd say maybe 1 in 20 clients ask that.
Yeah.
It's not super common. We legally don't have to disclose if someone died in the home.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, Barrett's going to ask about ghosts. Go ahead.
Oh, are you reading my notes?
No, I just know it's coming.
Have any of the houses that you've shown ever claimed to be haunted?
No, but interestingly enough, I had a hippie client, and she came in and she had to feel the vibe of the house. And just feel, is this a good vibe house or a bad vibe house? And Ben was with me on this one, and there was a broom in the corner, and she said, you know what? I'm getting a very, very bad vibe from this house. This is not going to work for me. And I said, okay, well, let's just go then.
That's when you need to keep the sage on the ready. You're like, all right, don't worry about this.
It's all right.
I got you, girl.
Yes.
Well, and she actually had a buyer get a decent deal on a home because I think it was multiple offers originally, and he lost it, and there had ended up being a murder that was committed in the home. Mm-hmm. So the buyer that won the offer ended up backing out after they learned of that. I think from a neighbor. You can learn a lot from a neighbor. So her buyer was like, well,
I saw
really
it go back up on the market, and I was like, whoa, wait, we placed an offer. Like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, well, we had everybody back out because of this murder that happened. I was like, girl, my folks are Christians. Let me call them. And so I called them, and they were like, no, we're perfectly fine with that. We love the house. Like, we're fine. And So they bought the house and they live there still till today.
Oh.
And they can't get rid of it now because of the ghost that is in
The ghost actually cooks them breakfast.
Oh, that's nice. It's got that Michael J. Fox thing going.
Yeah.
Oh, Frighteners.
Yeah, Frighteners.
Yeah, that was a great movie too. Have you all ever shown a house that you all thought we'd like to live here?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
most
for
definitely.
sure.
How often does
It's not
that
for sale
happen?
anymore.
Well, in the beginning, we would just go look at houses, because we were new, and we'd
Yeah.
say, "Ooh, there's an open house over here. Look at this house. Let's go into this house." And so there was one. I think it was off of Hardin Street. Remember with like the 10-person shower, the brick house that it didn't look like this great home from the outside because it was just this brick kind of normal looking home.
right.
And we go in and I was like, oh, we could totally party in the shower.
Wow.
That's what I need, a party shower.
Yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of personal business that goes on in the shower.
You can't dance in my bathtub shower. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, ours either.
Generally, what's the standard commission on that a broker or agent receives when selling a house?
So 6% is what someone would say is standard, but there's really no set commission.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to say this is really even standard.
Yeah,
Sure.
don't
Gotcha.
ever let an agent tell you that. It's always negotiable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always fully negotiable. Buyer's agent and listing agent is negotiable. I hate as a listing agent to really offer a buyer's agent less than like 2.5%, just because especially since COVID, buyer's agents are working very hard.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, listing agents, 2020 and 2021, you could put a home up and do absolutely nothing to market
And it would just sell.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I bought my home in 2021, and it was like every home we look at, if you want to offer on it, they're like, it's too late. Like someone's already done it. God.
So now I think you had a lot of agents drop out after last year when it kind of dipped a little bit.
Yeah.
And now they're coming back around to you got to do some marketing. You got to actually make the home appealing. And
Yeah. You got to
find
work
buyers.
now. How does
That's
that
right.
sound?
Exactly. Yeah.
When it comes to finding a real estate agent, like do people go through an interview process, or do they generally just pull up a website, or they go based on like word of mouth?
Word of mouth, I think, is the biggest. Yeah. Just because it's kind of hard to, real estate agents are salespeople.
Yeah.
So you hate to pull them into your house and interview them because you know that they're going to sell you. And so most people have that kind of negative connotation with we don't want to be sold to. So word of mouth, I think, is our biggest referral source by far.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people that go on the internet and just pull up an agent and say, well, I'll just contact them. I mean, there's random leads all the time that come in from the internet.
Yeah, our folks from California actually found us because they liked the way we look on the website. They said we looked family oriented, so and we are.
I liked the photo of you guys walking on Main Street in Lexington.
Nice, thank
I
you.
thought that was how many times did you all have to take that one?
Oh, gosh.
It was a few.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
sunshine
kept looking at
wasn't-
the camera. He's like, "Don't look at the camera."
When we
great.
first started looking and we did the Guild Mortgage thing, they were like, hey, we have this company that we use that could help y'all out for mortgage or real estate wise. And the guy was nice. He just wouldn't kind of listen to what we were talking about. Like, we don't want a pool. The man showed us like 3 houses with a pool. I was like, grew up doing that, don't want it. And so finally we're like, so we're not going to do this. And had to find out when we got through a word of mouth. My wife does hair, and this is one of her clients. She was awesome, and she's like, "I get you out of that real quick." And so she's like, "I'll do it for you." And she was amazing. I think she showed us 3 houses total, and the third one we were like, "That one."
She listened. She
Yeah,
listened.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we often go into homes, and people are always shocked because we're like, "This isn't the home." There's look at the foundation. Look at the. You see these cracks in the walls, and they're like, well, don't you want to sell me a house? Well, yeah, I do, but I want you to be happy, and I want you to tell your family members and friends about us too. I don't want you to be like bad mouthing us over here.
That was definitely built from my dad's, the way he operated. Because,
sure.
he's like, if I wouldn't sell it to one of my boys, I just wouldn't recommend it. And
Yeah.
that's really what we try to go off of. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm pointing out the negatives too often, but they're going to get into inspections and find these items anyway. And you've got 2 different kinds of agents. You've got agents who are just trying to get that check. They're almost like used car salesmen, just get them to closing. And then I feel like us, we're here to just make sure you find the right home. And it's not always going to be a quick process. But
especially these days.
And that person, that real estate agent and broker, when they pigeonhole you into a house, if you're doing that for all your clients, you're not going to have many clients from then on. They're going to be like, "Oh, don't go there."
Yes,
So
exactly.
you're telling them the truth, and you're like, "Listen, I wouldn't sell it if I wouldn't sell it to my kids. I'm not going to sell it to
Exactly.
you." And that's a great way to do it, I think.
that's where our word of mouth comes from.
Absolutely.
It really is.
And that's again where that's kind of the reason I got into it. From the nonprofit aspect was to help people, not to just make. I mean, the money's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the main purpose for being in the business.
Right.
one of the things I'm always curious about is like, so like if I were interested in selling my home, I would potentially, I would think that I'd want to go with an agent or a broker that would not only be selling my home, but would also be working to find me a new home.
Yeah.
Is that pretty common?
Definitely. I mean, you've got some agents who operate on teams. So you may have like a buyer's agent, specialty agent, and then a listing agent. We do everything. So, I mean, we'll help you list the home. I like to meet with people before they're ready to list and get it list ready, tell them what they can expect to get for it. And then, of course, helping them find something. It's a tricky balance to do that, to buy and sell at the same time. But
yeah, I think that's probably one of my concerns is like if the time comes. I mean, we're on the verge of losing one of our kids because he's aging out of.
Okay, you need to rephrase the way you say
that.
I'm getting a little worried.
Well, I mean, we eventually he's going to have to move into the basement, and the one that's in the basement is going to have to move out, right?
You don't have a basement?
No, we don't.
Okay, so you're looking for a house with a basement?
I'm just kidding.
On the shores of Ireland?
The TP with no kids.
TP, that's right.
We always used to joke with people in our neighborhood. I said I wanted to be in the house where that all of my neighbors or the kids of the neighborhood thought that we kept a child in the basement or whatever, because then it would keep them out of the yard. You
already creep kids out. It's fine.
That's right.
I think I've been by your house one time.
I think yeah. No, you did you? I think my car broke down one time. It was my clutch went out. So my clutch went out, and Ben was kind enough to let me use his AAA. But that was a whole fiasco. Like
it was.
So here I'll just tell the story before we take a break. But essentially we had a kickball game. I get a phone call from one of the guys we play with, Jay. You remember Jay?
I remember Jay.
We wound up calling him Bobblehead a lot, but it was out of love.
No one.
Yeah. So you played with Jay, I think, softball.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's okay. So Jay calls me. He says, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to make the game." He said my car's broke down. I said, "All right, how far do you live away?" And I said, "I'll just come pick you up," because I think we were desperate for people to show up.
Probably.
And so. He gives me his address. I drive to go pick him up. Well, on the way, my master cylinder goes out in my clutch. Oh, gosh. So I'm able to at least get to his apartment. I get him. I'm able to get it into second gear, so I'm able to drive as far as the gas station on Blossom and Hugie. Is that right? Yeah. So the gas station right there on the corner, and but there was also a train. So Eric and Rob came to pick us up, but there was a train that came basically to a stop across the road. So Eric and Rob are sitting across the train tracks, and Jay and I have walked all the way to the train tracks, and we're like, I told Jay, I was like, I'm just gonna jump through the train. And Jay's like, I don't think we were allowed to do that. And I was like, but it stopped.
And they stopped forever there.
Yeah. So I was like, let's just walk through. And I'm only focused on Eric's car on the other side of the train tracks because he was driving that Cadillac at the time. Yeah. I'm focused on his car, and Jay's just constantly. Jay keeps saying he goes. No, we don't have to jump. We don't have to jump through the train. I was like, no, they're right there. We can just go through the train. And he says, Barrett, just don't do it. And I start to do it. And he goes, Barrett, the end of the train is right there. Like, so all we had to do is just walk around. But I was focused on that for like 5 minutes, but I was talking so much.
You wanted to climb a train.
I did. I think I did. I did want to. Yeah. No,
How hilarious had a cop been there and just that situation? He's like, could have gone around.
He was watching you the whole time, just
whacking you with a baton while you're trying to cross.
It was
we're done with hobos here.
But yeah, so I left my car at the gas station, and then Ben met me the next morning. I think I Ubered to or did you pick me up? I think you did pick me up.
Yeah, I picked you up.
Yeah, you picked me up from the house. And
that was the Element you still got.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna drive that Element till it dies. I actually today I think I overcharged my air conditioning because the compressor keeps coming off.
Getting sprayed with Freon.
All right, we're going to take a break. This is the All About Nothing podcast. We're here with Ben and Elizabeth from Max Real Estate here in Lexington County. Do y'all have what's the website?
www.maxres.com, and that's MACSRES.
MACSRES.com, and the phone number.
Mine is 803-394-6955. 7009.
Okay, because we're definitely going to in the next segment. I'm hoping that you'll have some interesting stories of you don't have to give clients names unless you want to, unless they were like really awful. But
Better not.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So in the next segment, and when we come back from break, I think hopefully there's some stories we can talk about, and I also have I have a gift for you as well.
Oh,
so,
nice. Okay.
So we'll do that right after the break. We're here with Elizabeth and Ben from Max Real Estate, and of course Zach.
Hi.
This is the All About Nothing podcast.
Yo, this is Rod Fly, 803 Stand Up. This is All About Nothing podcast. Let's get it.
Welcome back to the All About Nothing podcast. I am Barrett Gruber, Zach King here. Again, we are sans Trent Clark because he actually, and congratulations.
He's on that the new sub going down.
Well, I was going to congratulate him on having a job out of state, but
yeah, he's captain in the sub.
Really brought that one down.
He could use a Logitech controller.
Oh, no.
He does know how to use a Logitech controller.
Have you seen him play Grand Theft Auto? If he can play Grand Theft Auto,
exactly.
you can go to see Titanic.
So we're joined this week by Ben and Elizabeth McCarter, who are the owners and operators of the real estate agency Max Real Estate here in Lexington. And of course, we said it before the break. Website is maxres.com. So you can check out some of the properties that they have for sale there. Also, you all link to a YouTube page where you can see videos of the properties. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
That was I really like the integration on that. That's really cool.
I'll try to get us on everything. So
But
we
yeah,
even
that's
got
all
TikTok.
I was going to say.
Teach you how to make
You
drinks
gotta be
on
on
TikTok.
There you
Do
go.
you?
Yeah, I have
Nice.
a Christmas cocktail I made back in December on there.
All right.
I think one of the stereotypical things that I always imagine when because if I'm driving somewhere on a Sunday or something like that and I see that there's an open house, in my head I always imagine, are they baking cookies? Is that
We do
something?
have food usually.
It is
yeah,
something,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
That's what you think when you see an open house?
I mean, I can't say I disagree. I'm like, ooh, do they have cocktails and is there food? So
Yeah.
Well, apropos of that, my wife came home the other day and she goes, one of my clients told me, do I ever make shower sandwiches? And our heads at the same time went, like, you eat them in the shower? She's like, no, like baby showers, you moron.
Oh, man. My brother just sent me a Snapchat of a cheeseburger in the shower, actually.
Really?
he has
She said
shower
that.
coffees, and the other brother has shower pina coladas.
I've heard of the shower beers. I was like, I don't even do that, but let's stop it.
I need
Shower
to know
burrito. Let's do this.
which brother does shower. What was it? Shower pina coladas.
Yeah.
That's Will.
Will does shower pina coladas.
Yeah, Matt
Yep,
had
we got a
the
snap.
shower cheeseburger.
You're just in there.
Who does the shower cheeseburger?
This was Matt. He said down and dirty with a McDonald's burger in the shower.
Listen, only so much time in the world.
I feel like Matt's got a little bit of time. I know Matt. He can eat outside the shower, right?
I think he just thinks it's more enjoyable.
However, if you saw my tub,
Oh,
a tub's different though, right?
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
have-
That's
I can
way
have
different.
cheese
Yeah,
and wine.
yeah.
My TV set up right on like a little mantle above, and yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Spoiled.
ratio wise, how many people are looking for homes with pools versus not with pools?
It's not a common requirement our clients
Okay.
ask for, but at the same time, we personally would love to have one with a pool. I mean, the summers here are hot.
Yeah.
They're nice
Usually
to
they
have. It's that 3 or 4 months that you use the pool, and then the rest you're like, I hate
The
everything.
maintenance.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
it's a lot of maintenance.
what died in my pool today?
I don't want to pay the electric bill on a filter system that has to run 24 hours a day.
Well, then you get the saltwater pools, which are supposed to help with that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really?
I don't know. My
Less
father-in-law's
maintenance on
still
those.
cussing at it.
We do have folks that want a pool in the neighborhood.
okay.
True.
So, you
Yeah,
know, they
that's
don't
true,
have to
yeah.
maintain it. They like the clubhouse and they'll have golf carts to, ride to the pool. But it's still not a common,
Right.
it's usually school districts, I think, that drive folks with kids.
Gotcha. What is the number one school district right now?
Lexington 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lexington
sure.
Richland 5 is another big popular one around here.
Yeah, that one's definitely growing. That's kind of the Chapin, Irmo area.
Yeah.
District. That's where I went. Got the smarts.
I grew up in Atlanta. Atlanta proper. Atlanta proper. Thank you very much.
Oh, were you other Southerners?
Inside.
On our other podcast, we always a guy. I always play videos that has a guy who does Southern sayings, and growing up in Chapin White Rock, I know all of them. Barrett's like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I grew up in Atlanta proper. I've never heard any.
Yeah,
of
you
these
don't
before.
sound. You don't have the whole drawl.
No,
Yeah.
so I went to broadcast school to lose that.
Okay.
I had to. I had.
The nuns hit your fingers. And
Yeah. It was either.
Don't say y'all.
Yeah,
saying
exactly.
y'all. I don't like
It
conjunctions.
isn't y'all. It's you all.
That's right.
It's yous guys.
No, we train a lot of folks how to say y'all here. Yeah, our
you?
California clients, our Michigan clients for sure. She's like, I guess we should say y'all now. I said, you totally should.
Well, where are they from in California?
Oh gosh, Modesto, I do believe.
Lincoln.
Oh,
or
Lincoln,
Lincolnville.
okay.
Now, they had actually originally moved from South Africa. So they moved from South Africa to
So
California.
their accents are more like this.
Oh, yeah.
You guys come over eat some prawns?
However, now their daughters they're younger,
Yeah.
and they have the southern, sayings
Oh, yeah.
now. And then they've only lived here 2 years?
Mom and Daddy
they
how
said
funny.
They drove all over the country and ended up in Lexington. They're in Chapin
Chapin,
now.
yeah.
but
Doesn't that blow your mind? Oh, it really
does.
does.
It really does.
Yeah. So I graduated. I've lived in Chapin since 1997, and it just seems like everybody started to come there.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think people in
my
Chapin
parents
are
were
like,
there in
go
the 80s.
away.
Yeah, exactly. I drive through it now. We went to go see my buddy in Chapin, and I drove through it, and I was like, what has become of my hometown? There's this furniture store with a big red H on it, and you're just like, what is all of this?
Well, after our Californians moved in, apparently there was a house behind them where they heard all this woo, woo, and it was like, go Cox.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my goodness, I've got to check this out. This is totally my territory here. They're making all kinds of noises, shooting cocks. I'm like, no, the cocks are a football game.
Yeah. Oh, you're not shooting cocks and eating prawns. What are you doing?
He said, this is my kind of place.
Yeah.
And he calls it the Wild West out here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
The Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine how the politics feel to him then.
That was part of their reason for moving here.
He fits
too.
right
It was
in.
More
That's cool.
conservative.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like guns.
He likes guns. He now raises chickens. They love the deer hunt. They actually make biltong from South Africa, so they come over here and they're like, oh, we can go hunt and shoot deer, and we can make deer jerky.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, they do it themselves. So
That's awesome.
Again, they fit right in.
So now it makes sense. He was like, this is my people.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I started looking into you guys doing Ben, you doing real estate, I just happened to notice more on like my Instagram and things like that, which is I'm sure how the algorithm works. I search for something and then I start getting inundated with everything.
Yeah.
But I came to find out that somebody that I went to school with, elementary school, like first grade all the way through my senior year, 12th grade in high school, come to find out he's a real estate agent in Montana.
Oh, okay.
And this is he gave me permission to show one of his videos.
Today we're here at 5109 Eastside Highway, Stevensville, Montana. This property is in a great location. It's about 40 minutes from Missoula, less than 10 minutes from Stevensville, and we're just on the outskirts.
So this far, he
of
looks like
as
Shane
well.
Beamer.
You can take a look at these beautiful views right behind me.
Well,
of
he
the
has
Bitterroot
yeah,
Mountains.
it's
There's
right
a
in
lot
front of the
things I
Bitterroot
love
Mountains,
about
but
this
he has
home.
one of the coolest names. Like I always thought, like growing up, like his name was cool. His name is Jason Shredder.
Built in
Oh, nice.
2011.
Yeah.
This home's got some
That's
really nice
across his
features.
back. It has to be
Just behind
tattooed.
me,
Shred real
you see an
estate.
attached
Yeah.
two-car
But for a
garage
long
with
time,
an
Jason,
unfinished shop with
like
three
his
bays.
Instagram was all postings of him like doing rapid river rafting and whatnot. Like so, like I'm not sure if he works on doing river rafting, whatever. But look at that view.
There's underground sprinklers in the front
Neighbors.
and the back. The pasture behind me is ideal for horses. Off to the right here, you see a nice little gazebo with some raised garden beds, as well as a covered patio.
Nope, I see
that
another
offers
house.
a
I'm
lot of
out.
nice shade.
We have those clients for sure.
It's Montana. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
It's Montana. You don't count on seeing a whole lot of people next door. Which was actually so we had property in Kentucky. Did you know?
I don't think I knew that.
We
What's his number? I'm gonna.
Yeah. So Jason Shredder, I'll put links in the show notes as well, and you all as well. So I've got that already set up. But so check show notes for both Max Real Estate and of course Jason. I think it's Katie Ward Broker.
If you're in one of the Dakotas or Montana.
Yeah, Montana. Yeah, the Dakotas should still just be one state. Just
Welcome to Dakota.
not one of the Dakotas. It's the Dakota region, or just make it all Montana.
We say the Dakoters.
Yeah.
You
But-
guys like Yellowstone?
Is there anywhere that you all would like to potentially, like, is there a bucket list of like locations that you would potentially want to sell property in?
I mean, it'd be great to go, more coastal. Charleston's, it's a completely different kind of market because of how historic it is down there.
Yeah.
I think it would be extremely neat. I like to go see the old houses even around here, the early 1900s and late 1800s, but there's not near as many as what you'd come across down there.
Yeah.
I was thinking so much further. We watched the real estate shows in California and Paris. I'm like, whoa. If you look at their commissions alone and the houses they get to tour, it's like, yeah, I'd like to go there.
Is there like, so during COVID, of course, when you began to run out of things to watch on television, one of the ones that we saw was a real estate firm in New York, like Long Island, and it wasn't necessarily about the homes they were selling. It was more about the drama between the agents.
The cutthroat, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want, not with you two, not with your firm, not with your broker agency, but like, do you all see any of that with any of the other brokers?
I think I haven't seen it being only with this brokerage, but there were definitely some stories my dad would tell me where he was at in Lexington of just inter-office drama and things they knew about each other, and there was plenty of back and forth he'd talk about when he'd come home, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's just inevitable when you get that many people together.
Especially women.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
Sorry, it's so true.
It is.
I'm glad you said it.
You have 20 women in an office, and there becomes competition, and who can do it better. And
sure.
They'd
that's
go
supposed
out
to be my
drinking for
client.
lunch, and that would only stir the
Oh
pot
yes,
some
the beans
more,
get spilled, and then you definitely have
yeah.
inter-office drama.
Like I said, my wife works at a hair salon. I'm just like,
Yeah,
geez, guys, like,
know.
what is it? Like, don't you guys be quiet? Don't. How about
No,
don't?
we're in the chair. We need to tell.
That's what she says. It's a therapy. So
Yes.
Therapy. That's what we used to call the podcast. And I guess it's still kind of our therapy sessions.
therapy, not therapy.
Yeah. Well,
Or Harry.
I don't know. You do remind us every time you get a haircut. You come in, I got a haircut.
I do. Because they're so rare. I'm the last person on my wife's book. It's always booked, and she's like, "You really need a haircut?" And I'm just looking like Wolfman. And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I need another one right now.
Does she do the beard too?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Well,
does.
usually she's like, "You do the neckline," and I'm like, "All right, I'll do that part, but you trim it, blend it." I'm trying to let her. I'm talking her into. I was like, "Let me go all blonde, bleach blonde on the top."
Whoa.
It's in
I'm
now.
seeing that more and more now.
Well,
honestly.
it is in
Yeah.
for one, but it nags her to death. And one day I'm going to break her, and she's going to be like, "Fine, we're going to do it." I'm going to be like, "Yeah, we're
full black
I didn't-
beard with bleach blonde hair.
Exactly. And I'm going to be like, "Listen, I did it this far. I have to keep going."
Can we attach it to a bet or anything?
Whatever makes her do it.
Dare.
I just want to do it, and I know I'll be
dare.
scared when it's time to do it.
Really?
But, Chasen, her best friend, she works there too, and I'm like, "Will you do it?" And we'll just surprise her. She goes, "Boo, it takes way too long for that." I'm just like, "All right."
Your hair grows pretty quick though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like it'll be blonde for a day, but then you're going to see your roots within like a week, right?
Yeah, maybe hours.
Wow, hours.
And if you hate it, you can always try bald.
No, I've tricked my dad and brother into doing it. It doesn't look good. So, no, I think I can't do bald.
I
Can't
used
do bald.
to walk around with a bald head.
You did.
Yeah, that was. Did you ever see me with a bald head?
I don't know if I saw
Usually it
fully
was
bald.
just shaved all the way down.
Yeah, and he
or
always
whatever.
put the white hand of Sauron on top of it.
So, any interesting stories about selling houses or showing houses or anything like that?
Most definitely. You got any you want to start with?
Oh gosh, now you put me on the spot. No, I think you should go with yours first. I like
One
yours
of
better.
you mentioned the Dirk Diggler room or the
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah,
The party shower.
These were the clients that had originally come from South Africa, actually, then California, then here, and we were showing them. He was looking for a more affordable lake home, so we're looking at more fixer-upper type homes on the lake. And we went into a room, second-story bathroom, I believe, in the owner's suite, and it was a raised bathtub with like a wooden platform around it.
No, carpeted. carpeted steps up
Oh,
to
that's
the,
right.
Oh, nice.
Like
yes,
some
like
older
shag
carpet.
Carpet in the bathroom, sweet.
Yes. And fully wrapped with mirrors around.
No risk,
Yeah.
no risk of mildew there.
Someone had a lot of me energy.
Yes.
But you had a beautiful view of the lake.
Oh, absolutely.
With a telescope sitting right beside the bathtub, looking at right out on the lake.
That's
Absolutely.
That's awkward.
You know it.
But yeah, he called it the Boogie Nights home.
The Boogie
Anytime
Nights,
he'd
yeah.
reference it, because he had some interest in it actually, because it was a nice home. But yeah, that was his reference point for it, was the Boogie Nights home.
And what was funny is when we walked in there, I was like, "Oh, the shag carpet." And to him, being European, shag means something completely different. And he's like, "Did you say shag?" I was like, "Yeah, the shag carpet. Oh, the carpet." So yeah, he.
That's what it's
completely
called here,
labeled
sir.
it that. Boogie Nights was very fitting.
It was.
That's
Yeah, it really
awesome.
was. And then I had another home. This was actually, it was the best sale I ever had as an agent. It was just upwards of $1 million.
Wow.
So it was a really nice one to have on the lake. We got her under contract, and I was just hoping and praying everything was going to go through with it. But she ended up sending me some old Zillow pictures of the home. One of the pictures was zoomed into like an upper story window, and there's a cutout of, it was Michael Myers in the
That's fun.
window.
Yeah.
But she was convinced it was not a fake object. She was like, this is some type of spirit in the home. And
You're like, let me show you this movie.
I was like, I had to go Google it. Like, where
Seen this?
you don't
where
know.
did she even find this?
Come on.
Yeah, so she was convinced. She actually still ended up buying the home. And
That's when you come back with the cutout and you're like,
that's right. No, but to this day, she's convinced that home is haunted. And I'm like, it's a Michael Myers cutout, but whatever.
you bought
whatever.
it. It's fun. We're
That's
done now.
right.
And when she bought it, it was completely redone, so it looked completely different. But before it was renoed, it did look pretty scary on the outside for a lake house.
Yeah.
So I guess he just thought it would be comical to stick that Michael Myers poster.
I
up
think that's
there.
hilarious.
It's standard to have an exorcism when you redo the home. So you're fine.
I love watching the TikToks of the people that know that the Google Street car is coming past, and they'll do poses in front of their house so that
That's
they
a great
get on
idea.
I saw one of those yesterday, actually.
Have you seen the one where it was the guy standing over his son in the driveway? He's holding a shovel in one hand, and the kid's laying in the driveway.
The one, because we, when we travel, you hit home. They have changed my photo like twice within the last 2 months. I'm
Really?
like, how do I not see this thing coming down my driveway?
Yeah.
My work office is right there. I would see this car. But they sneak around. They're like, oh, no
Missed
one's home.
opportunity.
Exactly. Pull my shirt off and lay on the ground. Yeah, don't buy this house. Get out.
No, and with this job, you see people's true colors because it is such an emotional journey for people.
Sure.
I mean, it's the biggest financial decision they ever go through. I've had you see a little bit more pettiness than you would expect from certain people, unfortunately. But I've had people, we get to the day of closing, and I'm telling my seller, make sure you get all the stuff out of the home. Anything left after closing is going to be the buyer's. And he had left a playground there, and I think this playground had some sentimental value. It's $450,000 house, and he was ready to just kill the entire deal, let the buyer walk away because
of the playground.
because he had not picked it up yet. And he's like, I'm not gonna be able to get to it till later this evening, and we were closing that morning. And so, and then another client of mine that she didn't have the garage fobs provided, and the contract states you will convey any garage fobs.
Yeah.
This home was $750,000. And she's sending me pictures of Amazon with these garage fobs for like $25 and stuff. And I'm like, well, you got to get it programmed and stuff. Yeah. And they're not all universally accepted like you would think they are. And she was about ready to kill that deal over the fact that she couldn't provide the fobs, and the buyer was upset about it.
The lawyer was going to donate the $25.
Oh, well, yeah.
I just run to Lowe's and like
it's like
Geek Squad, come here and put a touchscreen on this thing.
That's
it's not
right.
gonna ruin the whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we moved into my house, there was a handful of things we needed them to fix before we did it, and the one big one was the garage door was broken, and I was like, that's a big for me because like I wanted a garage.
Yeah.
And it ends up like we asked them to fix one more thing after that, and they were like, no, they were already pissed. They spent $700 on fixing the garage door, and I was like, well, it's kind of like a thing that all doors in the house should open when you buy it.
For sure.
So, yeah, I was like, you gotta fix that.
Yeah, when I built my house before the closing, before we went and signed the papers for the closing and everything, we walked through the inspection because I guess that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, I haven't done this for 23
It's
years.
like, looks like walls.
Yeah. Well, so and just to give you an idea, so when they built my house, I was working third shift at NCR, which meant that I had my entire day to go and sit and watch them build the house. So yeah, so the whole time they're working on the house, the owner of the house is standing there. And Zach and Carrie came over this past weekend, and there's one spot in my house that creaks after 21 years. One spot in the house that creaks, and that's because when they put the floorboards down, everywhere they put a nail, I came in and put a screw. Nice. So I screwed it down, and then I painted. I just did a little dab of white paint so that if I looked across, I could see the basically the spread of all of the paint marks to make sure that there wasn't a blank mark somewhere.
Yeah,
and
smart.
Barrett, you were that guy.
I was that guy. I was also the guy that came in with 4 miles of Cat 5 cable to run a network through the entire house. This was a nightmare. I'll tell that in a second. So I somehow I missed one spot in the frog over the garage where I didn't, and that's where my office is now. So every time I walk over that spot, it's that one creak, and I hear it.
The one you missed.
It's the one I missed.
Pull up the carpet, lay one in there.
I don't.
See, my parents' home had creaks all over, but I swear my dad, because he built that home, they did that strategically.
They're like right beside the front door. Right beside the side door.
Oh, yeah.
Like right in front of the fridge.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
See, Barry, I know when I did marine construction, you would have those clients that would come over while you're nailing stuff. You're like, yes? What are you doing there? You're like, can you please go away? Or they would sit there and like throw out a lawn chair and sit there like 10 feet from.
Oh, that was me.
Does that look level to you? I was like, it will be when the rest, just leave me alone.
Did you have Spanish builders?
Yeah.
Okay. See, most of the time they'll just no English. You know.
Oh, I didn't have to talk to anybody. The only
you didn't bother them.
No. Mateo Pomfilo, you speak English. Talk.
I just want like when they put in the first water heater that they installed, and it was I don't know who it was that installed it as far as like whether what. I didn't pay attention to nationality. I can't remember. That was a long time ago, and I'm getting old. But
yeah, it was 22 years ago.
Yeah,
man.
But
I was 13.
The water heater, when they were putting it it's in the garage, and when they were putting it on the wooden platform that sits it up off the ground, they dropped the water heater. And I'm smart enough to know how a water heater is built, and they went ahead and put it in, and I go, no. There's
not a can of soda, Barrett.
This is
a water heater.
It's a water heater with a glass interior.
Come on, it's fine.
Yeah, so they
There's
replaced
a few components you need to worry about.
I had them replace that, but yeah. So I bought 4 miles of Cat 5 because I was going to run all the network cable because that wasn't part of the deal when I bought the house.
Yeah.
So I bought all the Cat 5 wiring. I bought all of the inserts for the wall. I put all the inserts in. I ran. I was going to run all the wiring because I asked the foreman of the job, and I said, hey, I'm going to come in when one night I'm off so I can run this. I said, when are y'all going to put the drywall up? He says, we're not going to put the drywall up for a week. You should be good to do it over the weekend. I said, great. I came in over the weekend. All the drywall was up. They had literally put all the drywall up over all of my inserts. And
I was
going to
say they spackle your crap. Not
even that. They just put the wall up. The insert, like literally, there is an insert next to almost every single one of my power outlets in the house.
So you spent hours every day with a stud finder, like finally the hole.
But I never got an opportunity to run the wire. Yeah. So like it's just empty boxes that don't have wire, have Cat 5, and of course now what are we up to? Cat 10 cable, so it would have been pretty useless at this point anyway.
They just got to pull it out of the wall now and go rerun it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Wi-Fi is good enough for me. I'll stick with the Wi-Fi, except in my office. Yeah, the Xbox and the PlayStation are definitely hooked up to the directly.
Hardwiring, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Oh, are you Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Okay, we need to exchange gamer tags.
Okay.
Yeah, he was very adamant that this must be hardwired. I was like, but you can play with Wi-Fi. He's like, no, it's not the same.
You can try to play with Wi-Fi. Yeah.
It can't glitch while I'm trying to kill someone.
I'm trying to wait for my wife to get out of the house for me to drill holes and run it upstairs. Yes. Yeah, I'm an Xbox guy through and through, but I did just get a PS5 for like super cheap, so I was like, I don't think I've been on my Xbox for like 2 months now.
It's been a little while because we were playing MLB The Show.
Oh yeah, that's why
a lot.
I like to play that.
You play that?
Oh
yeah.
We got a third.
Yeah, because we have our friend and me play with us on the show sometimes, but she's playing on Xbox. What is it?
The original Xbox One.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Like an Xbox One. and it's
Oh, she loads like minutes
yeah
after.
Yeah.
Just like, come on.
Yeah. If we're doing home run derby, then we're constantly waiting for her to join.
Oh, we're done, and she's like, I got 5 more hits. All right, let's go.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, do you have any stories of?
Well, he was talking about showing true colors, and I had a seller who had some renters in an apartment, and so we have a really awesome photographer, and the photographer's going in and he's taking a look around, and you know how renters are. You know, they're like, well, we don't really care if you're selling the house or not. We're not going to clean it or anything. Well, we go in this one room, and there is this ginormous flag. I mean, ginormous, like from one corner to the next corner. And it's just a flag of a big butt. Just
Mississippi. That was
That's the Georgia State flag. Yeah.
you couldn't see a face or anything. She was squatted down and
flag.
That kind of flag.
in my head. All I pictured
That's
was
Florida.
I just what I pictured was the two open and closed parentheses, and then one more parentheses in there, and then that being like it was a
oh yes, just a very realistic woman's booty. And the photographer turns to me and he says,
Nice.
do you want me to picture this? And I was like, it's the only way to get, like, it's a small room. It's probably about the size of the one we're in. So, you've got to stand in the doorway and take a picture, and the flag's like right there. I was like, go for it, man.
Look how much room's in here. This ginormous flag.
Yeah, that's right. And the smell in there was very much of marijuana. It's like, don't stay in the room too long, though. You might want to touch the butt.
That guy goes on Zillow one day. He's like, that's my butt flag.
Is that something that you all come across often? Is finding a house that has unique smells to it?
Oh, yes.
You have to cover those up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in some closets. They're growing something in the closet.
Oh.
Yeah, well, even the house that we took a look at over on Hendrick Street, it was a fixer-upper, and we were looking at it, and it's very strange because you walk into the master bedroom and you walk down these steps, and we're like, oh, here's going to be a cool closet. We just go to earth, just dirt. And we walk in this room, and we're like,
that's ingenious.
what is that smell? And then he's got some strange little things that are running out, like there's one brick missing in the exterior wall, and I'm like, I don't know what that was for.
Yeah,
we're just there like
ventilation.
This is a mogwai. You can't feed them after midnight or get them wet.
That's right. And then we found out as we looked further, there was actually just a whole bunch of stuff that they had just stuffed up under the house, like just random things. I think there was a bucket and some wood or other
bicycle. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, what in the world?
A parking attendant.
Yeah.
People do that. They just cram stuff. They're like, out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
Yes, and especially back in the day, apparently builders would just dig a hole and throw all of their building materials in it. So that was very common too. But
that's that. In fact, that was one of the things that I recognized almost immediately before they poured the foundation. They put up the cinder blocks, and But before they poured the foundation, it was just littered with trash, like cans and sodas, bags.
If you get a soft spot in the slab, that's just
where
a
it came
bottle.
from.
Exactly, no sand is there.
Yeah, it was. And then I think we were digging out one of the flower beds one time because we were getting rid of the flower, the plants, the bushes that came with the house because they were just. One of them died, and then a couple other ones were looking like they were on their way out. So we pulled them out, and then. As we were doing that, like I pulled out broken saw bits, and I pulled out like drills, and there was actually an entire. We pulled out an entire. Was it Milwaukee drill?
Human skull.
Oh,
a Milwaukee drill.
You're like, wow, somebody missed this.
Yeah,
no, I've seen Poltergeist. Put it back. But
what's crazy? This was before Milwaukee had become as popular because I think Home Depot or Lowe's.
Dude, Milwaukee's been popular for.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't something that I saw. Like if I went to Lowe's, I always saw the other
Cobalt.
name brands. Cobalt or DeWalt or whatever. I never saw a Milwaukee, and now like all I see is Milwaukee.
Georgia, Atlanta proper stuff.
Of course.
I have like a 1950s Sawzall that's in Milwaukee. Oh, yeah.
Well, I pulled out a Milwaukee drill, and I tried to get a battery for it. It wouldn't run.
Well.
Because I'm pretty sure it had been in the ground for like 12 years.
Yeah, put it in the museum for a 20-year-old build.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I think this has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having
us.
Before we end, I do have a gift. I said for you. It's actually for your mom.
Okay.
Because when we all played kickball together, we had the entire team sign this ball, and it has been sitting on my shelf because I wanted to try and get more signatures for it. But of course, after COVID, we all kind of went our different ways. And but this is a ball that we got signed by a lot of people. See, there's Kellen's name right there.
Nice. Okay.
They got Amber on there and whatnot. So
there's a Chris on the back.
There's
Is Wendy Hinkle on there?
I don't know. You're gonna want to dust it off before you come out. But
She
yeah.
will love it. She
So,
really
yeah.
will.
So that was.
I mean, because my dad would come with her to all these games and watch us. So
That was.
it'll bring back some memories.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Awesome.
Ben,
Well, thank you.
thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
And
thanks for
Elizabeth,
having us,
thank you
y'all.
for
Yeah,
being
of
here.
Thank
as
y'all
well.
so much.
Thank
It
y'all.
was
Enjoyed
great.
it.
It was a lot of fun. I think I've learned something. I'm just gonna burn my house down and take the insurance.
There you go.
Is what I'm gonna do. So
No, we'll get you $500K.
yeah. Wow, not in my neighborhood.
No, you won't.
Drive through. Meet some of my neighbors. No, my neighbors are great. I love my neighbors. They're I really like my neighborhood because it's easily one of the most diverse neighborhoods I think that I've seen. My next door neighbor's Dominican. We have Chinese and Pakistani in our
That's
neighborhood,
awesome.
and the quality. Like I asked about smells. You walk down our street and it's international flavors.
Oh, nice.
That everywhere. So if I move, it's only because it's into an assisted living facility is a likelihood. Listen, everybody check out our show notes where you'll find links to Max Real Estate website, which is maxres.com.
MACSRES.
Yeah, MACSRES. Thank you. I probably would have messed that up, but I've already done the show notes, so it's all already linked. But check them out and give Elizabeth and Ben a call if you're interested in buying or selling homes here in South Carolina. If you want to move to South Carolina or
If you're in California or South Africa, let's get it together.
That's right.
Germany too. We need more Germans.
I've
here.
got a client
No, we
living in
don't.
Belgium that contacted me, but she's looking to sell something she's got over here. But
Oh, okay. Well,
wherever you're at, yeah, we'll help you.
look, I wish you all the best of luck because I know that, markets go up and down and sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. But I'm really glad that right now it's going really well.
Thank you.
So that's awesome. And I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations on the upcoming baby.
Thank you. We're excited.
Oh, that's
It'll be
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
New adventure.
New girl.
A baby girl.
Yeah, be my mom's.
I have one of those. They're fun.
I hope so.
I have two of
Oh,
them.
they're the best.
So congratulations, absolutely. And if you're registered anywhere, send me the link. I'll add it to the show notes too. So.
Thank you.
So, all right, everybody, that is going to do it for this episode of the All About Nothing podcast. Thank you, Zach, for being here. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being here as well. Links to all of our past episodes and podcast platforms, merchandise, as well as social media are available on our website, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly and you're in the giving mood, why not becoming an official member of and support the show? Visit theallaboutnothing.com and click on the support link near the top of our page. The problem is I try and read this too quickly. And if I read it slower,
Don't do an intermission during the money part.
yeah. All right. If you think it's all worth it, give us your money. It's theallaboutnothing.com. Just click on the support link and you can become a member. And again, if you are a member in the top 10 tier,
I'm a member now.
yeah. Did you see the membership that I added for the Trent tier?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So there's a $100 a month tier that we added to our membership as a joke because Trent told me that we should have a $100 a month tier on there. So I added verbiage to it that basically said if you sign up for the $100 tier, he'll do whatever you want.
Up to the legal line.
Yeah, up to the legal line, but Trent will do whatever you want.
Should put Zach on there. We'll give you blonde hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that could be Patreon gold.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
That's right.
That'll work. All right, everybody, thank you very much for listening. You all stay safe and...
Yeah, have a week.
The All About Nothing podcast is produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber, and recorded from the podcast studio at GOT Sound Studio in Lexington, South Carolina. GOT Sound Studio is owned and operated by Neek the Geek. Visit GOTSoundstudio.com for details on studio rental, production, and engineering. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. Thanks to Trent Clark, aka aka DJ Lonzo. Join him weekly at the venue in Columbia, South Carolina for the Saturday All-Star Drag Brunch and Sundays at the Review Drag Brunch. You can also contact Trent for all your entertainment needs. Trent at theallaboutnothing.com and on Instagram, TheRealDJLonzo. You can also phone him 803-262-7982. Thanks to Zach King. You can follow him on Instagram at KingZach07 and on Twitter at CarolinaKing21. I am Barrett Gruber. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Barrett Gruber or visit my Linktree/Barrett Gruber. Want to support the show? Visit our page, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available, including memberships that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. Visit theallaboutnothing.com. To find links to our social media, merchandise, and past episodes, as well as other details, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be heard on the show, you can call and leave us a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our partner podcasts. Zach and I host What the Pod Was That with Carrie Simmons. Visit whatthepodwasthat.com for links and details. Ami takes a deep dive down the rabbit hole in episodes of Welcome to Wonderland. Available on all of your podcast platforms. As well, you should check out DJ Lonzo's Top 5. Available on all of the podcast listening platforms. Please subscribe and share the show. If you're on YouTube, please like and hit the notification bell. The All About Nothing podcast is a product of Barrett Gruber Entertainment and Media. Thank you for listening.